want to thank everybody for tuning into a special edition of SC Sports World. I'm Luther Dupree. I got the guys, the stars from Pittsburgh Ring Talk with me, Claudio Rosano and Smoking Jim Frazier. Great show. If you want to call in, you can call in 412-231-2288. We're going back. We're talking 2019 boxing, and we all came up with a list. Boxing was a great year in 2019. 2020 should really bring it back, but we all came up with a list. Best fights for 2019. I'll start off with Claudio because we know Smoking Jim is still getting his paperwork together.
Wrong paperwork.
The wrong way. Claudio, why don't you get us started? Give us some of your best fights from the last year.
The ones that stand out are also the ones that are most entertaining. The first one that comes to mind, not in any particular order, but the John Pasquale champ Marcus Brown. Pasquale just lost against a no-name. He was 14-0, and he beat Pasquale. Everybody thought that he was going to be a stepping stone, pretty much a former champion. Stepping stone beat the heck out of him and then moved forward. Well, that's what Marcus Brown thought until Pasquale came in great shape, landed some big shots, good head movement, just didn't go out there and slug it out, but dominated the entire fight. And I was really happy for him that he's champ again. So he has his second run, I believe it is. So I was happy to see that. Another one that I was really impressed with, and I've been a little bit hard on Jermell Charlo, but I was so impressed with the way he fought Harrison. He really focused on that fight, and he really wanted it back. That's when you know what kind of fighter you have. When you lose the championship, either you can disappear or you can say, I'm going to come back 10 times stronger, and he did, and I liked the way he fought. Another fight that I really liked was the Artur Beterbiev fight when he KO'd Alexander.
He's a bad boy.
Yeah, Vazdik. That was a hell of a fight, light heavyweights. That guy's going to be tough. I don't see anybody beating him in the light heavyweight division. I like to see him. Jim always says about Michael Moore, if he didn't go to the heavyweights, he'd have been the Joe Louis of the light heavyweights. I'm with this guy, Beterbiev, just stay in the light heavies. I mean, I guess he's going to probably move up.
Fight big money is.
But he's a hell of a fighter.
He is.
Really good.
He is.
Pacquiao Thurman. I thought Thurman was going to beat him. But Pacquiao pulled a number on him. And then I would say it wasn't a great fight, but it was a surprising fight. An eye-opener was when Ruiz knocked out Joshua. So, again, Pasquale, Charlo, Beterbiev, Thurman, and Pacquiao, Ruiz, Joshua. I think those were. And another fight real quick that was very entertaining was finally the Nigerian, they didn't nickname him the Nigerian Nightmare, like every Nigerian Nightmare. Ajabe against, what's his name here? Khaladzade, I guess it was called. 2 knockdowns. Ajabe was supposed to dominate the fight, but that guy hung in there, and he kept getting up. And I know Jim liked it because the ref gave him time to keep fighting. But that was a very entertaining fight. So, like Luther said, it was a great year for boxing. And the thing that I like about it this year was that it was out there. People got to see it. Last thing, when Charlo Harrison fought, the thing I liked about it was on free TV.
Right.
And you can follow Charlie, you can follow Jabe, know who these guys are. Like when we were growing up, you had free TV. Now you can get a fan base.
Exactly. All right. I'm going to go. A lot of great fights, but one that I really remember that was like the surprise, the upset of the year, of course, was Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz. I've been telling Smoking Jim for years that Joshua did not have a chin, and Andy Ruiz exposed it, hit him with left. He went down early in the third round, got up and put Joshua down, hit him with a nice left right on the temple, and AJ was never the same. That was a good one. I get on AJ. I got a picture of AJ in a pool, and I'm seeing way too many of these pictures. Can we show? I've been in pool with guys. I've never been this close with 3 other guys, smiling like I don't know. I like my champions to be solid and not surrounded by a bunch of men in a small jacuzzi. I don't know. I don't like my heavyweight champions looking like that. He's smiling way too hard, way too close to those guys. But I'm glad Ruiz exposed him. Now everybody can see why he was ducking Deontay Wilder. He has no chin. And he quit. I don't think he has much heart in him either. The second fight, he didn't really attack him. He stayed on the outside. I like the way, what you said, this fight is also on Jermell Charlo when he fought Harrison. He lost his belt, the second one. He lost his belt last year. He came back, was going for the knockout. Tough fight,
serious.
very competitive, but he hit Harrison with some shots. He took some shots.
And Harrison did a hell of a job.
Yeah,
He didn't lay down.
Harrison was right in there,
Did a
but you
great
can't.
job.
But you know what? He messed up. He kept playing, holding his arms out.
Yeah.
You don't play with a guy with power in both hands. They call him Iron Man for a reason.
Charlie was serious at fight. He was throwing some shots.
Yes.
Haymakers,
And I
yeah.
can't wait. Now that brings me to the next fight, and I thought you would put on this list: Julian J. Rock Williams versus Jared Hurd. Free TV,
Yeah.
one of the great fights of the year. It happened earlier in the year, so a lot of people forgot about it. But those guys went back and forth. Hurd was knocking everybody out. J. Rock put him down in the first round, and it was in Hurd's hometown. He showed me a lot. And that I can't wait for him and Charlie to lock arms. That's going to be the fight of the year. Hopefully that unification takes place this year. If J Rock gets past his next opponent, I think those two fight. It's going to be an exciting fight. But I think that's going to be a great one. Go ahead.
Before Jim goes on, I'm going to ask you, who's the guy you like, the super middleweight, the guy who won? We watched him on TV.
Caleb Plant?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
he's
I
a
forgot about
terrific
him. Yeah,
fighter. Yes.
yeah.
And I have a story. Caleb Plant is another guy. He won a belt. He had another one. And his whole story is incredible. He lost his daughter last year, promised her before she died he was going to win a championship. Comes back, wins a belt. His mom gets killed by the police. Fights again, dominates another guy. And I think 2020 is another banner year for him. He's going to fight David Benavidez for a unification bout. He got married this year as well. Caleb Plant, you all need to get down with him. They call him Sweet Hands. He's very fast, has power in both hands, and his story is incredible.
Yeah, good story.
They really have to do a special documentary on him because he's going to be a great one. Another fight that I had in it was Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis. That was a great fight, 140 pounds. It was part of the welterweight tournament, which I think should happen more and more. They took all the top heavyweights. They had a tournament at the end. It was Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis, and Josh Taylor won by a majority decision. Could have gone either way. It was a great fight. Those are the type of fights that we need to have. I wish every weight division would have a super series so people like Anthony Joshua couldn't duck Deontay Wilder, or Terrence Crawford couldn't go and hide at ESPN and avoid all the top heavyweights at the PBC, the Errol Spence, the Sean Porters. And another fight that I had, and this is my last one, was Sean Porter, Errol Spence. Those guys were toe-to-toe. Errol Spence showed his heart. He stood in there and fought Sean Porter's fight and beat him. Put him down, a left hook in the 11th round. Would have took most welterweights out, but Sean Porter is game. That was an excellent fight. Both of those guys are at the top. And Terrence Crawford is fighting green machines and the Amir Khans of the world, and he gets on Twitter talking trash on everybody. I want to see him fight somebody at the welterweight. Since he's been there, he's fought Joe Horn, a bum. Amir Khan has no chin. Benavidez, who got shot 8 times in the leg a year before, and he fights the green bean machine and gets knocked down in the second round. Very disappointed with what Terrence Crawford is doing with his career. I thought he had a chance to go down as one of the all-time greats, but he won't fight stiff competition, and well, it's not working out for him. But those are my top fights that I've had this year. I got some exciting ones, I think, for 2020 that's going to happen. Smoker Jim, you've had a chance to prepare. Are you ready? Or we got to move on to the
move
next
out of the
topic.
way because you're blocking Marciano in
Right,
the picture.
right.
I don't like that.
Hey, thanks, Lou, for finally letting me be a part of the show. But
We know you're never prepared,
As
so.
usual, you put best fight of 2019, but I got 3 fights. Number 3, you got to have Pacquiao taking out Thurman. Nobody expected that. Pacquiao, outstanding. You got to put that. Fight number 2, you got to put the red Ferrari that took out Earl Spence.
I was waiting for that one.
That's what I
That's
gotta
terrible,
put.
Jim.
That's number 2.
He didn't take him out. He's
number
still
2.
back.
That's number 2 on my list. He got the TKO. And number 1 fight of the year, in my opinion, was Anthony Cassius Clay. Joshua
stop that.
beating his second world champion. He beat a world champion to win the title. He won $80 million. This is prize fights. That's what it's all about. He's a world champion now.
He's a
he
ducky.
fought in Saudi Arabia. He's fighting all over the world. He beat another world champion.
A bum.
And he is now $80 million richer. That was the fight of the year in
fight of
2019,
the
in
year?
my opinion.
What-
Anthony Cassius Clay Joshua.
Stop. Cash, there's nothing Cassius Clay about him. He doesn't have the footwork, the boxing speed, the hand speed, or the heart, or the chin. One fight that I didn't mention that I should have was Adam Konaki and
Yeah,
Chris Arreola.
yeah.
That was another one. That was
Yep.
a slobber knocker.
Yep.
Most punches ever by heavyweights. Those guys went toe to toe.
That's right.
And if you would have heard Konaki talk, he took a lot of punishment. I heard him on the at the pregame for the Luis Ortiz and Wilder fight, and he looked like he was punch drunk already. I had to rewind it 7 times to understand what he was talking about. But,
Arreola was tough, and that was one of the ones I missed. I wrote it down, but I didn't mention it. Kownacki against Arreola. Arreola was a guy who lost the championship fight, and he could have disappeared, but he kept coming back. He didn't win, but he kept coming back, and I always appreciated it.
We'll be here all day if you guys keep talking about club fighters.
Hey,
Club fighters of the year.
Well, what, Arreola, he fought for a championship. And Adam Konaki's about to fight for a championship.
Him and Porter ought to get together.
All right, now.
Club Hall of Fame.
Now, the next thing we talked about, 2020. We had our wishes and what we think was going to happen for 2020.
I'll wait till you get to me.
You want to go first, Smoker Jim?
I'll go
You're up.
first. Yeah.
Jim, you're up.
Bring me
Go
in,
ahead,
man.
so you can make up
I
some
see
garbage.
You got all the paperwork.
come
2020
prepared.
most anticipated fight has to be Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Anytime you got Tyson in your name, you know you're a great fighter. I think that Tyson Fury is going to beat Wilder, and then that'll be the biggest thing for boxing, because in 2020 there's time for Anthony Cassius Clay Joshua to fight Fury, which would be the fight of the century. It would be the biggest thing in boxing history since Frazier Ali.
Wow. All right, Claudio.
Well, I'll agree with him on that it'll be, I think it'll probably make, you think it'll make more. I'm not going to say it's the
Billions.
I don't think it's as important as Frazier Ali and all those fights. But today, what else do you have? Do you think it'll make more than Mayweather or McGregor?
No.
Oh yeah,
No.
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
No.
Well, Saudi Arabia will do that. Saudi Arabia will do that. Wherever they fight, will make more than that. Yeah.
I have Wilder Fury. That's a fight that obviously, and I'm with you. I know we'll talk about it another time, but I think Fury will get him. Then the winner will fight Anthony Joshua. At least you hope Joshua will sign on the dotted line. Canelo, I still would like to see him fight Triple G. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I still would like to see that. I'd also like to see Thurman fight Porter. I mean, I've always been a Porter fan.
Part
I would
two,
like
huh?
to, part 2. I'd like to see him because I think Porter gets him. I would love, obviously.
They can fight that at the Rivers.
You know what? I think that would draw. I think
Draw
that would
what?
I'm not saying fight in Dallas, but I think it'll draw. And then, of course, Spence Crawford. I don't know if it's going to happen it might, if it does happen, I think it'll happen like in December.
Is he out the hospital?
He's out of the hospital. He says he's going to fight in May. So we'll see. And then and the one that I hope, and I'm probably the only one who hopes that this fight happens, but again, I like names, Pacquiao Floyd. I like to see that. Now,
the first one was
I
terrible.
know.
The second one's going to be worse.
As long as they don't go
love it.
crazy with the numbers, which I'm afraid they will.
It's Money Mayweather.
But
He's
I
ruined the
would like to
game.
see that fight. Would you like to see it?
I'd like to see Nikki Montgomery,
Who?
the girl we was talking about. From
Oh, okay. Okay.
That'd be worth it. That'd be worth it. Yeah, I would love to see Pacquiao Mayweather fight
Okay.
again. Keep it going, because boxing's dying in this country.
You need a
it's,
name.
It's
You need
big
names.
over there where Cassius Clay Joshua is in Fury. It's big around the world, but it's dying here in the United States.
Well,
with all these
Deontay
club
Wilder's
fighters.
bringing it back.
Huh?
Deontay Wilder's bringing it back in the USA. Claudia, we have more?
No, that's it. Yeah, Wilder
All right.
Fury, AJ winner of that fight, Canelo Triple G, Thurman Porter 2, Spence Crawford, Pacquiao Floyd. So some rematches in there.
Okay. All right. Well, one, before we get off this, I want to talk about my 2019 Quitter of the Year award. Can we run that picture up? We
know
had
who it's
a
gonna
bunch of quitters up there. 2019 Quitter of the Year. Can we run that picture? You had Anthony Joshua, who absolutely quit against Andy Ruiz. Amir Khan got hit in the hip, quit against Terrence Crawford, and Chavez Jr.
He's
quit.
lost.
I know his dad put his head down. He was just embarrassed. I said I should have never went forward with this guy.
After Chavez Jr. said, "There's going to be a new me."
Yeah.
I'm taking it
He
serious.
came in overweight. He quit in the fight and then faked in the hospital.
His dad looked disappointed.
Oh,
His dad would have won the fight, but he just
His dad should have stepped in the ring
telling you.
because his son doesn't have it. He's fighting only because of his name. But at quarter year, got to be Anthony
And he
Joshua.
got robbed too. Was it last year? This woman robbed him.
Right, I think so. Yeah, he's just a
Not a
disappointment.
good time
Quarter of
for
year
him.
got to be Anthony Joshua. You had 3 belts,
I gotta update
and you
this
just quit.
text.
That's terrible. But my fights of the year should be Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. Errol Spence is going to beat Terrence Crawford. I saw too many chinks in Terrence Crawford's armor. He got put down by the green bean machine in his last fight. Errol Spence, a car can't even take him out.
And that was a hell of a crash.
That was a hell of a crash. He jumped out immediately, and he's ready to fight again. You know, you can't break something that's unbreakable. Errol Spence, the truth. He proved it right there. In all the fights, the Porter, the Garcia, and the car crash, nothing could take this man out. He's the truth.
Most people that attempt suicide tries it again.
Okay, all right, Jim, there you go. Now, that's not something we even play with. Number 2 that I want to see, Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is going to destroy him within 4 rounds. Joshua has no chin. That's why he's doing everything he can. He's praying, he's pleading for Tyson Fury to
Let me
win.
ask you: if Fury does beat Wilder, who
It's
wins
not gonna
between Joshua and Fury?
It'll be a boring fight. I think Tyson might be able to get him because he's going to stay on the outside, and Joshua's very slow, and if he can't get close to you,
Who
he doesn't
can
know what to
Joshua?
do.
Will he beat Kalnaki?
I think he'll beat Kaunaki, but it'll be a tough fight for him. I don't think he has a chance. He may lose to Kubrat Pulov coming
If
up.
he loses to him,
It's a possibility.
Jim's no longer on the show.
It's a possibility.
Jim's off the show. We're kicking him
It's a
off.
possibility. But I want to see Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. He's going to kill him. I also want to see Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. I think that's a great fight. One that's already scheduled, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. The first one, I don't care what you say, the first one, Jack Reese robbed Deontay Wilder of a knockout. Any other referee sees a man unconscious on the ground
Did the
for
judges
6
rob it
seconds,
too?
it's
that
over.
All had that Tyson Fury ahead.
Apparently that didn't happen.
Did they all rob it too?
When you-
What fight was they watching?
Listen,
One-
Fury didn't
one
do
you was
anything.
watching.
Fury didn't do anything.
Huh?
He got laid
No,
down twice.
he just won every round.
He
Almost
got
every
laid
round.
down twice. What was he doing? Running. A lot of fainting. That's all he was doing.
It's the sweet science, ain't it?
This is heavyweight
You like
boxing.
Floyd.
This is
you like
heavyweight
Floyd
boxing.
Mayweather. You
This
like
is
Floyd
heavyweight
Mayweather.
boxing.
But he's not going to go in there and slug it out. That's not his game.
He's a boxer.
He's not very good. This second
No,
fight
he's
will
great.
be
He's
this
great.
second fight will be so easy for Wilder. I'm gonna have a ring. You all both need to kiss it by the next time they fight. When we have
Wait a
it.
minute.
I'm gonna
Something
have
just
a
hit me.
ring.
Wait a minute.
You want me to pull out a
Wait a minute.
stack?
I don't
You
want
wanna
no
put
more
something
ones.
on
Don't pull out
it?
the stack.
It's too early
Wait,
for
wasn't
that.
there a
Keep
bet
the ones in
between
your
you-
pocket.
Wasn't there a bet between you and Jim about the Joshua Ruiz fight? Weren't you supposed to do something if he loses and he?
I don't remember that. I do
Yeah,
not
see,
remember
You
that.
got to go back on it.
Yeah.
We gotta go see that. We gotta go see
I guess
that.
I got to put that up Friday, the Friday War of Words.
Here you go, going back ancient history, a decade.
2015.
You going 2015?
I'm just-
That's how long it's been since you won an argument against me. 5 years ago. Another. Let me finish my list. We got Vasily Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez Jr. That's going to be a classic. Teofimo showed me something. He hit Richard Comey with a right overhand right that would have took anybody down.
How you seeing all these fights?
Pardon me?
How you seeing all these fights?
I see every
That
fight there
little
is.
bootleg going
He
on.
goes. He
I
goes to Atlanta. He's
I go
he's
to
a
Atlanta,
journalist.
I stream, I do
He's
it
a
all.
journalist.
Javante Davis, yes, he didn't look great against Gamboa, came in overweight like a Chavez, and he did put him down 5 or 6 times, but it should have been earlier than that. But when you lose weight like that, that's a problem. But I'd like to see Vasily Lomachenko against Javante Davis. That's what I'm looking for.
real competition.
Some real competition. I'm looking for J-Rock, Julian Williams versus Jamel Charlo. Listen, that is going to be a fight of the year type of fight. And also, last but not least, I want to see my man, Caleb Plant, Great story against David Benavidez for that 168-pound title.
With these big names.
That's going to be a fight of the year. That maybe could be on the undercard of Davis or Lomachenko or something.
Take
Those
French
two guys are
at
great.
Howard.
Hey, we do have a caller. Hopefully, they'll be able to call and add something to the show. Caller, say your name and where you're calling from, please.
Hi, this is Donna from Homewood.
Hello, Donna. How are you?
Hi. First of all, I like your background.
Oh, thank you.
But Jim's cutting out Rocky Marciano. Look, we got to get him back in there.
Oh, I really have got the rock cut out.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I guess you know by now, by my previous calls, that I think boxing is a brutal sport.
And that's
I
why
think
we
most
love it.
Women feel the same way, and that's one difference between men and women. And I noticed you don't mention the women boxers much.
Oh, you're right. Clarissa Shields is on next Friday, this coming Friday. She can do something that hasn't been done. She can have, 4 titles in 10 fights. So that's pretty amazing. So, yes, we definitely have to give her some
Dawn,
credit.
I want to be the first to wish you a happy new year.
Yes,
and
yes, happy New Year.
and always remember this, whatever a man can do, a woman can do better.
All right, hey, she's about to prove it Friday.
Well, I don't know whether I want that, though. That's so brutal. But seeing that the sport is still around.
I've never been, I'll be honest with you, I've been to a few fights where there were women fighting. I just don't like it. And even when Ali's daughter, what was her
Layla
name? Layla Ali,
Ali.
and they tried to push Joe Frazier's daughter and all this other stuff, and Christy Martin when
Martin.
she started it. I just never been a fan of it.
Yeah, boxing is a very barbaric sport. It really should be outlawed, but I can't get enough of it.
I agree.
Well, seeing that the sport is still around, I couldn't get on at first because I'm not good at Facebook and all that stuff. But were you going over some changes in the rules of the game that would make it more safe, or was that something else? I know at the beginning I heard you saying something, but were you talking about rules that might make sport more safe?
No, we weren't, but the referee is in there to make it safe. And,
No! Not
and-
if I was ref.
And Jack Reese, you never know, a referee like Jack Reese, you never know what he's going to do. He let a guy that was unconscious
He's
for
like
5
Richard
seconds
Steele.
fight.
He's like Richard Steele, huh?
Richard Steele used to have some bad ones as
my
well.
God. Oof.
But I don't know. It's the referee's job to keep a fighter safe. Tony Harrison said that he wanted to fight on. Jack Reese stopped him. Tyson Fury was laid unconscious, and Jack Reese woke him back up.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, Dawn, if I was a referee, no fighter would ever say, I could have continued. You get on your feet, let's go.
I think, John, I think the thing that you can do without really hurting the game too much, I mean, I know the gloves have.
How about headgear?
Well, that would ruin it because people aren't going to want to see that.
Right.
They just, because there was talk about that years ago. That'll never happen. I think 2 things. The cornermen have to be a little bit smarter. There was
that
a
white
fight
towel.
last week. Yeah, there was a fight last week where there was a guy who said to his corner, "I can't feel my legs." And the guy, "Yeah, go ahead, I can feel mine." He lets him go out there.
He's a warrior, though. Balboa wanted to go out there. He says, I'm having trouble with my foot.
But as soon as a fighter says, "I can't do it," then the corner says, "Oh, man." Because the fighter usually is going to say, "I can go out there." Now, for this guy to say, "I can't feel it."
Well, who was
it's just not-
Pascal? Pascal got beat the other day,
No,
got
he
knocked
beat,
out?
he beat Budak Jack. It was Gamboa. It was
No,
Gervonta
who
Davis
fought
beat.
where you fought, got knocked out? The guy from Africa, or was that on TV?
That was on TV.
Was that- what was his name?
F.A. Ajagba and
Yeah.
Kalatsky.
Who got beat? The
Kalatsky,
African?
no. Kalatsky got beat.
Somebody, I was watching where an African got beat, and I'm like,
Oh,
how can he
man,
go
you're-
back to his hometown? He got knocked out. Older guy from Ghana.
Who, Richard Comey? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know
you know
you're
what I'm
talking
talking
about.
about.
Yeah,
I
he
don't.
got beat bad.
Yeah, he got knocked out in the second
Oh, the
round.
former champ?
The former champ.
Not Sam Peter.
I know who you're talking about. We forgot the name.
The guy Wilder beat.
No, not him. It was a lightweight.
Good guy. He had got a nice family and everything.
A Gogby or a
one of them
Gogby.
Africans, yeah.
Hey, but daughter, one thing, they do have a doctor who's supposed to check on fighters. They have a referee and a corner. So there's 3 levels of protection for a fighter, right? I mean, if the referee doesn't see it, they have the corner, and then they have the doctor. If a guy's getting beat up, the doctor will check him. Is the cut okay? Commissioner,
did too.
exactly.
Who was that one guy had a cut all the way down the middle of his forehead, all the way down? with
I just
blue?
remember Rockman that had that big knot
Ooh,
on his
I love
forehead.
that. I love that.
Hey, but
yeah.
Donna, we thank you for the call.
Thank you, Donna. Happy New Year to you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Also, the last thing I wanted to ask you was, what is it about Pittsburgh that the big fights don't come to Pittsburgh, or is it just that Pittsburgh doesn't get big anything?
I think that if they had, whenever they've had big name fights, and I'm not just talking about somebody local, but like years ago when they had Larry Holmes fight Snipes,
yeah.
the arena had good attendance. I think, to be honest with you, I think it's the purses. I mean, what can Pittsburgh offer the fighters or the promoters?
Well-
I think that if they have big names here, I think fans would go.
Don't rule it
And the
out, Donna,
venues.
because it was very close of coming. When Mike Tyson got back in the Iron Mike Promotions, got in, he really was going to start bringing big fights here, the Console Energy Center, but then he got a weed farm.
Okay.
That's where the big money is, Jim.
Jim.
I wouldn't go into
Apparently.
it, I was just wondering.
Thank you.
But you all keep up the good work and enjoy. I enjoy the show.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Donna.
See ya.
Appreciate it. Let's stay on. We have another call?
Yeah.
Let's stay on the phone lines. Call us, say your name, where you're calling from.
What's up, guys? This is Big E from Pittsburgh.
What's that?
Big E! Man, it's been a while, Big E.
What's up, player?
Yeah.
Happy New Year, man.
Yes.
But anyway, my question to you guys was, with MMA and boxing, is MMA just a fad, or do you think boxing is going to win out? Which one seems to be like more popular and going to be the future of the sport?
Well, me personally, I'm not. I respect them. You know, you go in there and you
I
fight.
love
You risk
I
it.
love it.
But I think it's almost like this. Society for many years now is quick. I want quick things, you know. Whereas boxing, like Jim said, it's a sweet science. So they're feeling each other out. There might be some rounds where they're just kind of feeling each other out and seeing what's what. Where MMA, they just go in there and start clocking each other and get the hell out of there. The fights are like 2 rounds, 3 rounds, where boxing can last longer. I'm not a big fan of it, as I said, but I think people like the quick action. You know, they're going in there and killing each other. They look like they've been beat up.
Right.
They're in a
Smaller
cage.
gloves, yeah.
Smaller gloves, the kicking and all that. I think people like that. Again, I like names. I like I like the fact that you know, it is a sweet science. It isn't just going in there and pound. Even the guys who were known as sluggers, okay, they still had some signs to it, you know. So I'm a bigger boxing fan. Is it a fad?
well, you know
I
what's
don't
gonna
think
happen.
so. I don't think so.
Well, Eric, before the doctor spin sounds off, Luther, let me just tell you the real deal. Boxing will never be able to compete with the MMA or the UFC, but you got to put it in a different category. Boxing will always be popular, but it can never reach the levels of the love that people have for that. Number one, it's because the guy that runs the UFC will not tolerate guys ducking other guys. They're putting the best fighters in there. The fans run UFC. The fans run MMA. They want to see blood. They want to see the best fighting the best, and that's what you're seeing in the UFC, in the MMA, and I think that's what you're going to see in the XFL that may take over the NFL soon.
And once again, Jim is wrong on that. What you will see is what you saw a couple years ago. You're going to see a combination. You had a Conor McGregor fight a Floyd Mayweather, big money, one of the biggest money fights in the history of the sport.
The doctor
You
spit his
see
head.
Dana White is coming into boxing. Him and Floyd Mayweather partner.
In a
Watch what
parachute?
once again, you're going to be wrong. Dana White and Floyd Mayweather are going to do a promotion, and Floyd is going to come back
on,
this
Dr.
year.
Smith.
I'm letting you know what's going to happen, just like I told you about Anthony Joshua, just like I told you about the Charlos. What's going to happen? Dana White is going to come more into boxing, and these big fights
use
will
that
start
philosophy,
happening
yeah.
using that
Wow.
same type of philosophy,
Wow.
starting with Floyd.
Is he going to
may
start
slide in
Saudi
with the
Arabia?
PNBC.
That's where he's going to start.
Okay, well, we will see. You will start seeing the sports
Or
merge,
Iraq.
but I don't think boxing's going anywhere. MMA definitely is not going anywhere. What you will
Most can
see
survive.
is
Are
Dana
you going to
coming
answer
in
his
there.
question? What's most popular? What's most
Well,
popular?
right now in the States, it's probably the MMA.
Thank
you know what?
But
All
with
the fights that you
Deontay,
see on
but with Deontay Wilder and some of these other USA
you can't
champions,
speak.
they will come
But
back
all the
and it will
fights
come
that you
back.
see on TV, the places are crowded.
Packed.
The boxing.
Packed.
Whether
I
it's
was in
all
Atlanta at
the
the
fights.
Javante Davis.
10,000-seat arenas packed.
Packed.
Can they fill a 120,000-seat arena anywhere? Anywhere in the United States?
Well,
Where?
First of
Fury
all,
Wilder would.
before you
Where-
go
where?
there, listen.
Where
you
can
can
Wilder
do it in
film?
the UK because it's bigger and those prices are $20 for a ticket.
Saudi Arabia ain't
There's
the
not
UK.
as many sports either.
Exactly.
Saudi
Boxing
Arabia
is
in
all
the
there is.
UK.
They don't have as many
Right.
choices
There's
as
no
the USA.
baseball.
But
They
where
have
do those
soccer.
guys
They have
come to
soccer.
make the big
Are you-
money?
you-
Where Joshua have to
Show
come?
me your
Where Joshua
passport
have
where
to
you
come?
make all these claims.
It's a
Show
fact.
Me, you got a
You know
globe
what?
and
You know what?
all.
There's something called Google, and there's guys that you can talk to on YouTube. They'll
come
tell you how much it
on,
is.
man.
I don't just read Wikipedia like you. I actually do the research. Unlike you
You
who
just
don't
told
watch
me Jason
matches,
Garrett
I
got
go to Atlanta. I go to these places and find out.
Okay.
All right, I'm there. Unlike Jim getting all his information off Wikipedia and claiming it as fact. Get out of here. Hey, E, what do you think is going to happen, man, before Jim says some more nonsense?
I mean, I'll put it this way. Definitely, it's like Claudia was saying, MMA is not about that fast right now. I mean, you look at baseball and you look at other sports, people love the baseball, other people guess it's too slow. So, that's up to them, But one thing I was going to ask you guys, where's a good place in Pittsburgh to see like a good boxing match? Where can you go?
I know where Jim's going to say. Go ahead, Jim.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm going to let you go. You all, every time we ask
go
you.
ahead.
Probably Claudio's house is the best place in Pittsburgh to go.
That's right.
He has it
The
laid
food's
out.
good anyway.
The food's good. Big screen all over the place. That's probably the best place. But Jim, where do you go to watch your fights?
I thought he was talking about watching fight live, or you talking about watching?
Yeah, watching it live.
Oh, I think with all the growing casinos, that will
Rivers.
be the best place because a lot of these fighters, if they were manure, couldn't draw flies. But as you get some fighters who are bigger, you got guys like Johnny Spell coming up, Keontae Wilder coming up. They may be able
Deontay
to-
Irving.
Deontay Irving. You know what I'm talking about. They'll be able to fight maybe in the Console Energy Center one day, and that's what you're looking for, is to get some fighters to fill up a real arena.
Right. And then I just went to one a couple weeks ago, Rivers Casino. I got to see one of my
cousin?
amateur cousins fight.
sit on the stone?
Keontae
Was it
Irving was
outdoor or
there.
indoor?
It was indoor at the Rivers Casino. It was a nice crowd. The venue was nice. So the
200 seat?
Rivers Casino is a good place to watch a fight, but hopefully pretty soon we can get it's not called the console anymore, Smoking Jim.
Yeah,
it's the PPG.
We had a small Christmas party here.
Hey, E, we appreciate the call, man.
Thanks,
Make sure you keep calling, man. We miss your calls.
Yeah, I'll have to keep calling, and can't wait for the big game tonight. So we're just gonna see who the true champions are.
Oh, no, they're going down. The dynasty is over,
Later,
Big
guys.
E. Dynasty is over. And Brady's retiring.
I hope not. He needs to get Breeze's record.
All right. Hey, E, we always appreciate it, man. All right, let's get back. Appreciate all the calls again, 412-231-2288. Anybody watching on YouTube or on TV. But listen, we always do our top 10. Ring Magazine had, I think, the worst top 10 list ever. They had Canelo, number 1, who's a drug cheat. Vasily Lomachenko, 15 fights, already has 1 loss. They have number 3, Inoue, 110-pounder. He's 19-0, 16 KOs. Terrence Crawford, 36-0. Then they have Alexander Usyk, 17-0, 13 knockouts. Okay.
Didn't look great in the heavyweight.
Did not.
Chaz Witherspoon.
Yeah, a spoon got him. Errol Spence, they have 26-0. Then they have Triple G, 41-1. Then they have Juan Francisco Estrada, who's 40-3. 3 losses they have him over there instead of a Javante Davis or Deontay Wilder or even a Tyson Fury. They have Artur Beterbiev, who I definitely agree with, 15-0, 15 knockouts. He is a monster. And then they have Manny Pacquiao, 62-7.
You go with that? Him being the top 10?
I guess. I mean, he beat 2 young guys. He beat Adrian Broner, which isn't saying much, but he beat Keith Thurman, which probably isn't saying much either. But they were both young guys, and he's 40.
Yeah.
He's one
At
of the
least.
few guys, and we have a picture. He's one of the few guys that won, who's had a title in 4 different decades. I think we had that. He has a title in the 90s, 2000s, 2010, and 2020. Look at this. This man is incredible. How many guys can say that? 1990s, 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s.
Wonder what
He's
kind of-
definitely one of the greatest
Wonder
of
what
all
kind of
time.
rice he's eating.
He's always been clean as far as I know. Hey, let's get one more phone call before we wrap up and get our top 10. Call, say name where you're calling from.
Yeah, this is LD from the
LD,
Hey, LD.
what's happening?
I was calling because I like Deontay Wilder,
Uh-huh.
but he when he comes into the ring, he wears a mask and he has a costume on. And while he's great and everything, I think that takes away from him. And I compare that with Tyson. When Tyson used to come into the ring, he looked like he was ready to fight. I just wanted your opinions. Do you think that takes away from Wilder's mystique?
I agree with you, LD. Wilder's a complete joke. Go ahead, Lou.
No, Anthony Joshua is a complete joke. All right, let's
I think
get.
he should wear the mask.
He should wear a mask. He should go in there with a helmet with his weak chin. That's what he should do. You know what I like the theater of it all. You know, come saying dressed like a Power Ranger sometimes,
As long as you
dressed
can
like
back it up.
this, and he can back it up. You know what I mean? He's a different type. Tyson came in short, stocky, just a towel and black shorts,
his
black
gimmick.
shoes.
Yeah.
That was his gimmick. Wilder's going to come in with all these uniforms.
Can you name me one world champion Wilder's ever beat? I'll wait.
He beat
I'll
Tyson
wait.
Fury.
I'll wait.
The linear
I'll
champ.
wait.
He beat
I'll
the linear
wait.
champ.
He
He
beat
beat
the guy-
Tyson Fury. He
They
beat
They fought to a
Berlin
draw.
Sturvey.
They fought to a draw. They fought to a draw.
No, really,
One-
that fight
can
was
he
over.
fight- Can you
It won't
just
be
one world
over.
champion?
Listen, Jim,
Was
people
Brazil-
are scared.
Brazil
Is
win a
Joshua
world
fighting him?
champion?
He's scared to fight him. You can only fight him.
He beat
who
two
can
world
fight.
champions already. But,
Okay,
go
an
ahead.
old Klitschko who hadn't fought for 2 years.
Hey,
stop.
Hey,
stop.
LD, when
He
Luther
beat
won't
Charles.
tell you, here's how you know.
What
when
I
it-
won't tell you is that
Here's-
Joshua got destroyed by Andrew Weed.
Here's how you can predict the demise of a heavyweight, and it's always happened. And Claudio back me up because he is historian. When Mike Tyson started his decline was when he started talking about I'm the baddest man on the planet.
He said that from the beginning. What are you talking about?
No, he was very
Leave the
humble.
hype.
Wilder now is saying he's the greatest punching heavyweight of all time. Come on, man.
And the stats say it.
And
Nobody's
he's
had a
going
higher
down.
knockout percentage.
He's yet to win on any scorecards. His last 4 fights, he's been behind.
That's a good point.
Because he's
never-
dependent on that power. He's not getting
Exactly.
any
He's
better.
always dependent on the power. He's a
But no,
knockout
no,
artist.
he's talking.
He's
He's
a
talking.
knockout artist.
But it's also like a baseball
he's the
player.
Antonio Brown of boxing right now.
It's also
But
like
he's,
a
but
baseball
he's in a
player.
sport.
Huh?
Antonio
That-
Brown does not play the sport right now.
It's also like a
Deontay
baseball
Wilder's
player
backing
who's,
it up.
who's going for home run or strikeout. And you
Exactly.
make a good point, losing
Exactly.
rounds. And somebody who,
Hey,
I know
LD
that's
called it.
that wasn't your
Knockout
question,
artist.
but that's why we think Fury's going to win. And he's going to have to be ready physically, but also mentally and take each round because Wilder's going to give up rounds. But to answer your question as far as the mask and all that, I've always liked, and I know what Jim's going to say, I always like color. I always like colorful people who wear them. Now, as long as you back it up, you can't. Like one time, I went to a fight at the West Virginia casino. I forgot what it was.
Mountaineer.
This guy came with the show and the girls and the this and that. He had all these outfits. He got knocked out in like a minute. So you look bad. So if you're gonna wear, like in baseball, the wristbands, or Joe Namath with the white shoes, or in boxing, wear the capes and come in like Prince Asim Hamed with the music and all these guys, then you better back it up.
Exactly.
Wilder's backed it up, but I'm okay with it. And Fury, whenever they do fight, Fury was dressed as Apollo Creed and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if
Came
you
in
can
with
back
a
it up.
sombrero on the one time.
Vinny Paz
He's,
used to come in with his hair cut and Indian mask. As long as you can back it up, you're
Prince
good.
Nazim had the best interests.
Yeah, he was-
Remember
he was
him?
good,
He was.
As long as you can back it up, LD, keep doing it. Because
I'm with
again,
L-
I like personality.
I'm with LD. I don't like it.
I like personality.
Y'all old school. I love it. I love it. All right, LD. What else do you think? You don't like it at all, huh?
No, it's just like, now he's a great boxer. Wilder's great. But sometimes wearing a costume and a mask like that
Yeah.
takes away from your reputation as a boxer. People
Thank
remember you for the mask.
Thank you.
Instead of the
If you
fighting.
lose, man, that guy wore a mask. He should keep wearing it. But I do think if you win, like when he fought Brazil, what do you think about when you think about that fight? One shot. When he fought Ortiz, what do you think about? Yes, he did lose the rounds. Jim's right, but you land that shot. It's really the personality. I mean, I I wouldn't even picture Muhammad Ali doing that. George Foreman, Marciano, Joe Louis, Frazier. None of those guys would do that. But that's just not who they were. So you know that's who he is. As long as you can back it up. Now, if he would have lost, again, man, he wore a mask. He wore this. Put the mask back on. But yeah, I'm okay with it.
Wilder's height fluctuates anywhere from 5'7" to 6'6", depending on which 7-Eleven he's going into.
Well, tell me this before I go. If Wilder loses, will he wear his mask out of the ring?
He should, that's right. He just might.
Listen, it won't happen against Fury, that's for sure.
Okay, you guys take it easy.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks
LD.
for
Happy
the
New Year
call.
to you.
That brings us to the next one. Let's as we get ready to wrap up, man. We appreciate all the
We
calls.
can do the top 10 yet.
We're doing our top 10. All right, pay attention. Keep up, Joe.
You said getting
Talking
ready.
about
He's got,
Wilder.
leave him alone.
That's CTE.
He's got all this stuff going
That's
on.
CTE.
I got all my
He's
river
studying.
stuff.
Oh,
He's
man,
got
I-
his casino. Leave him alone.
All right, let's get your top 10. You want to go first, Smoker Jim?
Yeah,
Your
I'll
top
go
10
first,
pound for pound?
because I see on your sheet pound for pound, but now I got to give 10. You just said pound for pound.
He
But
says 10.
10, I don't know what that means.
It's a number. 10 usually means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10.
He's got
Not
12.
15.
1A,
10.
1B.
You want us to
I'll
come
get
back
them
to
in
you?
descending order. No, I'll get them in descending order.
He's ready.
Number 10 is Deontay Wilder, who never beat a world champion. I got
here
to
you
put
go.
him at number 10. Number 9 is Earl Spence Jr., who tried to commit suicide.
Oh, my
Number
goodness.
8 is I got to put Manny Pacquiao at number 8.
No comments after him?
No, he's a great one. Number 7, Triple G. Number 6, B, Billy Joe.
we go.
Billy Joe Saunders.
Oh, he's dirty.
Number
too.
6, I'm reaching a little bit, but I believe this, and Claudio will back me up, is Johnny Spell.
I
Number
like Johnny. So.
Number 5 is Loma.
Yeah, Lomachenko, yeah.
Lomachenko, he had almost 400 amateur fights. Got to give him credit there, Lou. Number 4, Terrence Crawford. Got to be a number 4. Number 3, B. The Fat Tank, who could be the next
I don't want him
Broner. Tank Davis.
I thought you were gonna say
Every
something
time Tank Davis moves up in weight, he's overweight. He's only about 4'5", and he can't make the weight. He's starting to get a big head. He got all the talent in the world,
ripping all
but
these
if
brothers?
the Fat Tank can't come in, just like Broner, he can't make weight no matter what weight class he moves up to. Number 3, you got to give it to Canelo Alvarez. Other than him throwing the fight against Floyd Mayweather, the guy's been great. I think he
What
could
about
beat
the
a lot of
Royds?
heavyweights, huh?
The Royds? No, you
I
don't-
think he could beat a
bad
lot of
meat.
heavyweights.
Yeah,
He's
right.
light heavyweight champion.
Take all those
he won
roids he's taking.
everywhere. You got people ducking him all the time.
Nobody.
Number 2 is Tyson Fury. All Tysons can fight. I've never seen a gypsy get beat, and he won't get beat in February. And number 1 pound for pound fighter is Anthony Cassius Clay Joshua.
That list is trash.
Where would you rank Cassius Clay? Where would you rank Cassius Clay? You got to put Cassius
Cassius
Clay
Clay
the greatest
isn't walking
right
this
up
earth.
there.
That bum
He's
that
a-
you just
and-
said.
And unlike Wilder, he beat 2 former world champions. And that's it.
And he's a 2019 quitter of the year.
But he had an
Okay.
amateur record.
And that's it.
All right, I'm going to do what Jim did. I'm going to go from the bottom. A guy who I think's number 10 and shooting up very quick. As a matter of fact, I don't know if he's going to lose another fight. And that's Jermell Charlo. I just really like
Iron
him.
Man.
And I didn't like him at first. I didn't like him. I just wasn't sold on him. Now I am. Number 9, Triple G. I still think he has something left in the tank, and he's going to move up if he beats Canelo. I got 7, Lomo. Even though he doesn't have a ton of fights, I like what he's done in those fights and how he's beaten his guys. So I'm good with him 7. 6, he was always higher, but I'm going to go with Terrence Crawford 6. I changed that a little bit. Him 6, Errol Spence 5, Tyson Fury 4, Wilder 3. I think Beterbiev is number 2, pound for pound. And number 1, and I've been hard on Canelo from day one. I've never been a fan, especially since he beat when he lost to Mayweather. I think he was very, very overrated. But what he did to the light heavyweight Kovalev, I really thought Kovalev was going to beat him. I really did. But I'm going to give him credit and say, hey, you know what? You beat. And also, I thought Daniel Jacobs was going to beat him. And he beat the heck out of Daniel Jacobs. So I got to cough it up and say he's number one. But the guy who's shooting up is Charlo, and the guy who I think that maybe the next time we do this list is Beterbiev. I really like him a ton.
Okay.
And again, Fury Wilder, have Wilder ahead of him by this much. Maybe I should do A and B. If Fury
Right,
beats
do
him,
a Jim.
he'll jump over him.
Listen, my list, I have number 10, a guy who doesn't get enough credit, Caleb Plant. One of my favorites, 168-pounder. I think he's going to unify and possibly beat David Benavidez. Sweet hands, great story. Just the intestinal fortitude and the toughness to go through everything he did. Also, after that, I have Gervonta Davis at number 9. I think his skills, his knockout percentage is high.
Fat Tank.
You can call it what you want. He's had 23 fights and 22 knockouts.
And been 2 pounds overweight.
95 knockout percentage. He's a beast. And I think as he fights better competition, he has Floyd backing him, he's going to step it up.
How much did he come in overweight? You were there. You
He
at the
came in
weigh-ins.
2 pounds
Okay, that's what I thought.
overweight.
That's what I
He
thought.
went to LA
That's what I
Fitness, ran it off, and
what I thought.
got the knockout victory. Anyway, let me finish my list. All right.
Groner.
Number 8, I got Jamal Charlo. That's the 160-pounder. He knocked out J-Rock. He knocked out Harrison.
that the
And
blonde
he's
or
the
the
one who
brunette?
made Canelo give up his
10B.
belt. He's the one who made Canelo give up his
Blonde or
belt instead of
brunette?
fighting him. So that's why he's a WBC champion. Next, I have Triple G. He's been around. He's 37. I still think he should have fought Charlo. I know he's running after Canelo. I'm not putting Canelo on my list because when you test dirty, I can't trust you anymore. So he's not on my list.
If he wasn't redhead, you love him.
Next, I have Alexander Usyk, cruiserweight. He was undisputed. He's coming up to heavyweight. I don't think he's going to survive at heavyweight, but what can you say? He's undisputed. He's 1-0 at heavyweight. He's fighting for the, I guess, whatever title that Anthony Joshua was going to give up because Anthony
Most of
Joshua.
your top 10 couldn't survive.
Anthony Joshua wouldn't fight Deontay Wilder because if you're unifying, you don't have to worry about those mandatories.
In Ring
So
Magazine
so
wouldn't put your
instead of
top 10
fighting
nowhere. In Ring
Deontay
Magazine.
Wilder, he's going to give up one of his belts and fight Kubrat Pulev. So I don't like that at all. Next, number 5, I have Arthur Beterbiev. He's a beast. 15-0. 15 knockouts. After that, I have Manny Pacquiao. This guy, I like what he said. He has all these belts. He's not going to China. I mean, he's just a monster out there, power in both hands.
like him.
You could hit him with a hammer. Look at that face. It's not going to do
him
damage.
Too, but we was only doing 10, not 15.
All right, unlike you. And my top 3, Deontay Wilder is number 3. You're talking about a guy, 220 pounds, knocking out 6'9", 280-pounders. Every fight he goes in underweight. He's getting outweighed by 30, 40, 50 pounds, and he's knocking them
He
out.
couldn't cut it in football and basketball, so
The
he turned
highest
boxing.
knockout percentage in the history of the sport.
How'd
You
he do in
can't say
football
that.
and basketball?
Listen, and he picked up the sport late, and what is he doing? Dominating the baddest man on the planet. He's going to knock out Tyson Fury within 5 rounds.
Let me know when he beat a former world champion.
Number 2, Terrence Bud Crawford. I still want him to fight better competition, but he has all the skills in the world. But you got to fight a Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, not these green bean machines and Amir Khan who's been knocked out flat 7 times. And number 1, beat Mikey Garcia, beat Sean Porter, beat a car accident most people would have been taken out of. Earl the Truth Spence. He's going to make his return. I think he's going to fight Manny Pacquiao and unify 3
next fight?
championships in May because Manny Pacquiao didn't want to fight him before, but now coming off a car accident, I think Manny Pacquiao's thinking he might not be right. I might be able to
Is
get
he
him.
allowed to
Let
fight
me
without
get
a
it.
headgear?
He'll be fine. He's unbreakable. You can't break what's unbreakable. He's a monster. He's a beast in there. Now, we have a couple fights. We have Clarissa Shields coming up this Friday as we get ready to wrap up. She goes for her 4th world title in 10 fights, fastest in the history of boxing. Thoughts on Clarissa Shields?
Well, she's great. 2-time Olympic champion, right?
Right?
Outstanding. I think most of the fights been on Channel Q or
Showtime.
Channel
This
13.
is going to be on Showtime.
I mean,
Nobody's
is
really
there-
supporting.
Is there any interest in that? But I mean, I love women
Always
boxing.
throwing shots.
But no, I'm just saying. You know, I mean, we're talking about that like it's really somebody's really going to tune in.
It's for the WBC and WBO super welterweight.
Who's she
titles.
fighting?
Yes, Ivana
see, he knows.
Habazin.
Have you ever seen her fight?
I've never seen her fight, but
I
I've
didn't
seen
think
Clarissa,
so.
I've
I
seen
didn't think so.
Clarissa Shields
Yeah,
fight,
yeah,
and I saw what she did to Hammer. She destroyed her. So
She's a great.
My question is what about Usyk? Back to that, your top 10. I would have had him lower after the heavyweight fight. Did that affect you at all? What he did in the heavyweight?
it did affect me, but I'm just looking at his body of work, undisputed at cruiserweight. That hasn't been done in a long time. You know, competition isn't the greatest downer, but when you unify, you're undisputed at a weight. I
You
really
know, at
put you
one
high.
time there was no such thing as a cruiserweight. You was either light heavyweight or
Okay,
heavyweight. You know that,
years
right?
ago, but
Okay.
over the last
I'm just
30
saying.
years, there's been a cruiserweight. Evander Holyfield made his name as a cruiserweight.
He's
Michael
for a
Moore
day.
made his name at cruiserweight.
No, Michael
and then
Moore
they
never
moved
fought
up.
a cruiserweight.
Yes, he
went
did
from
fight at
175
cruiserweight. He
to a
fought at
fat-
cruiserweight.
to
He
a fat
went-
213.
He did fight at cruiserweight.
He went from stomach
He
muscles at
fought at
175.
cruiserweight. Anyway,
He
it's
fought
been
at-
around
he
for
fought
years.
at the Charleroi bar as a cruiserweight.
There you go with that. You're undisputed. That
you didn't have
holds a
Fury
lot of
on
weight.
there.
Fury, listen, if you all would have saw the Otto Wallin fight and the way he got cut 3 times on that eye,
that could happen to anybody.
I've seen
you
the
don't
WWE.
get dominated by a journeyman
I've
and
seen the
get my top 10.
WWE. He picked the guy up over his head.
Yeah,
in
that's
WWE.
fake. And you know what? Another thing about Fury, since we're on this Tyson Fury, I have a thing. You know, these UK boxers, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. Can we run that on the screen? I'm glad you mentioned that.
Klitschko.
Cheating. Tested positive in February 2015 and received a 2-year doping
Fake
ban.
news.
Quitting.
Fake news.
Quit doing his first fight against Andy Ruiz. What is up with these UK heavyweights? There's always something going on. Listen,
Lennox Lewis?
Tyson Fury is so scared of Deontay Wilder.
They've been dominating for the last 30 years.
Listen, he fired his whole team. Ben Davidson is gone.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he fired him. Now he has
he was
Sugar
on
Hill Stewart as his trainer. He is scared.
Didn't they have that song, Rapper's Delight?
He is scared.
Who are you talking about?
like
Tyson
Max
Fury
Kellerman always
changed his
putting
whole
rap in-
training camp.
Tyson Fury is a gypsy. They
I don't
grew
care
up
what he
fighting, man.
And he's
he don't
scared
need no
of Deontay
trainer.
Wilder.
He
His
don't
wife
need
said no.
trainer.
His dad said no. When you see what Wilder does to Fury, all I want to hear is you're right again.
Who's the better talker?
I don't care who's the better talker.
That fight, I think about when I said this before when Lennox Lewis fought David Tua. I remember telling my dad, I said, Lewis can win because Tua had a big punch,
Right.
a huge punch, and he had a pretty good jaw. I said, if Lewis is going to win, he has to every single round be drained. I mean, when that fight's over, he has to be drained more mentally than physically because he has to make sure that he lands his shots, but he stays away from a big punch.
Right.
And I think that's what
Was it the
Fury's going
glass
to do.
chin?
He didn't have the greatest of chins.
No, he had a glass
You know.
chin.
He only got knocked out
But it was
twice.
okay. But it was okay. It wasn't
Class.
it wasn't a bad chin. It wasn't bad.
PPG wanted to
Wasn't bad.
sponsor him.
That's pretty good.
He got
That's
hit
pretty
twice.
good.
He got hit twice
But-
his whole career,
but
Jim.
yeah, those guys.
What did he
get
do?
hit.
What did he do when he fought the top competition? Dominated Mike
Lewis is
Tyson.
one of the top 10.
Dominated Evander
Oh,
Holyfield.
Mike Tyson.
It did.
It
No, he
doesn't
still had a
matter. He
punch.
dominated him.
Mike
Still had a
Tyson.
punch.
Did he dominate him? Yes or no?
Oh,
Yes, he
Mike
did.
Tyson.
Did he dominate Evander? Yes. And he was robbed
Yeah,
with
the
the draw
same
the
way
one
Mike
time.
Tyson dominated Larry Holmes. Old Larry Holmes. Come on.
He would have
man.
dominated Larry Holmes anytime.
Not in his prime.
He would have
Not Larry Holmes'
dominated Larry
prime.
Holmes
I don't
anytime.
think
I don't
so.
want to hear that.
I don't think so.
Tyson would have
Holmes-
dominated.
Holmes
You
took
know
the-
how I feel about
he
Holmes.
could. What I don't.
I think he's very overrated.
Really?
Larry Holmes?
Wow.
With that jab?
Yes.
And
I
that
don't like
chin.
what he did to Muhammad Ali.
Wow,
Muhammad
I mean,
Ali would have
what was he
destroyed him.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson destroyed him.
No.
He would have always destroyed Larry Holmes.
Holmes, Tyson, in my opinion.
Tyson would have beat
Holmes,
him
I tell
any
you what,
era.
I've gained more and more respect for Holmes over the
Holmes
years.
could never beat Cassius Clay.
Holmes never had an amateur career. Nah.
Holmes did have a mean jab,
He did.
but
Not as
Great
good as
jab.
Buster Douglas, though. Buster
go.
Douglas had the best jab I've ever seen. Best physical fighter I ever seen ever was Buster Douglas, but that's another story.
God,
It's the truth.
Come on, man.
It's
You
the
can't-
truth.
You can't say that.
Why not?
Because it's not true.
Why
I
isn't
mean,
it true? He
how?
had great feet, Great jab, great right hand.
I didn't see it against Evander.
He didn't want it. I didn't say he had it inside. I said he had it physically.
There's a lot of guys who have it physically.
Who?
But it's the whole
Who?
package.
Like him?
Lennox Lewis.
He
had
had
the whole
it.
package.
But not like
Muhammad
Buster.
Ali,
Wait, he didn't have the
whole
jab like
package.
Buster had. He
no.
didn't have the feet that Buster had.
Lennox
He wasn't
Lewis
the
had a great
athlete.
jab.
Not as good as Buster.
Great jab?
He had a better jab than Buster Douglas.
think so.
Come on,
Come
man.
on.
You are. Listen, he's one of the one UK boxers I really appreciate is Lennox Lewis, and
Now,
I
when
think you
Lennox
guys
was
are not.
kidnapped-
He's a
giving
little
him
bit
enough
better
credit.
than Frank Bruno.
No.
20 times better than Bruno.
How about
Every
when
time
Lennox
he
was-
fought
wasn't Lennox
Tyson, he went to
kidnapped?
sleep. No, here you.
Frank Bruno and Herbie Hyde and all that.
Real
group.
quick, we only got 2 minutes. The biggest fight, probably, before our next fight, Tyson Fury, Wilder. What do you have it?
Well, we got a show on February 21st where we can bring your money with you, brother.
Bring
Because
that stack with the
February
rubber band.
22nd.
Bring those ones.
February 22nd is the fight, right?
Right.
And I tell you what, I got Fury winning, dominating the fight, and it's going to be the best thing in boxing because you'll finally get a world championship with Fury and Cassius
Because
Clay.
Josh was not scared of Fury. Exactly.
Unanimous decision. Tyson Fury.
Yes.
Over Wilder.
And these
Unanimous
two
decision.
both will be wrong. It'll be Wilder, a knockout, a brutal knockout this time. And Tyson will not get up. He may get taken out on a stretcher in this one.
Jack Reese
Keep
is
the
ref, then
paramedics close, because 6th round, Tyson's going down and he will not
Hold
get
up.
up.
Luther
6th round.
And
I've
Luther,
been right the last 7 fights.
And
I'm on a nice run.
And here's the reason why you're wrong this time. And it's because he took the fight too soon. If this was May, June, July, he just fought in November. He can't get himself ready again for a February
He's in
fight.
shape already.
Pardon me?
Back in the
Mentally.
day, first of
Mentally.
all,
That's
back
what
in
we're
the,
talking
back
about.
in the
From the
day,
neck up.
Back
From the
in the
neck
day, they
up.
used to
He
fight
ain't
every
in
3
shape.
months.
He won't be
See,
getting in shape from
you
the
know,
neck up.
This is where you're a hypocrite, Jim. You get mad about these fighters fighting 2 times a month. Wilder's doing something they used to do in the past, fight every 3 months. And you're still getting on him. You just don't like Wilder. You just don't like Wilder.
If you know
Period.
anything about Wilder, he likes a 12-week training camp, and he can't do that this time. So from the neck up, he's not going to be ready.
Okay.
The one thing,
And
though-
you'll be wrong again.
That a lot of these guys like Roberto Duran was known for that. After he getting in shape,
good
he
point.
gets heavy.
Yeah.
Wilder off of the. I mean, he's never heavy, but now maybe he took a little bit of time off. But I think he's going to be in good shape. So I think he's going to lose, but I don't think it's because he fought too soon. I think he's got the momentum going. He's still in shape. He didn't take a punch that last. I mean, he took some punches. That
was
guy won
behind for several
yeah,
rounds.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't a brutal
wanna- he
fight.
didn't wanna
You
get
know,
in
he
a
didn't
war
get
with
drained.
Ortiz
right,
again.
Right. So I don't think he's going to be. I think he's going to be okay mentally and physically, to be honest with you. I just think Fury is going to be the guy. Wilder hit him all he could. He said, "Damn, I still couldn't knock him out."
Right.
You know.
Wilder
and he's
didn't
going to have
hit
to
it-
perform that again. Wilder now, or Fury knows now what not to do. Stand there. He's going to move more. He's going to have to be drained. Remember that phrase: drained physically, but also drained mentally if he's going to win that fight.
Wilder barely hit him and had him unconscious.
Oh, he hit.
Barely hit him and had him unconscious. Really, he got him knocked down 3 times, but the referee didn't call one. The third one, it should have been over. It won't end this way. It'll end with Tyson getting carried out on the stretcher. Brutal knockout,
Unless Jack
bloody,
Reese is,
bloody fight. I feel sorry for his kids, for his wife, and his dad to see what's going to happen to Tyson Fury. Prayers to him and the rest of the Fury clan. It's over. It's going to be something brutal.
okay.
I can't wait to see it. Hey, but that's our show. Smoking Jim, Claudio, Luther, these guys are the best. I love doing the show with them. And make sure you check out Clarissa Shields this Friday. We'll check you out next time. Check us out on the website, scsportsworld.com. Peace.